Trump's call to Putin was no betrayal of Ukraine, Hegseth says. The U.S. Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, on Thursday defended President Trump's conversation about Ukraine with President Vladimir V. Putin of Russia, saying it was no betrayal of Kyiv, even though no representative of that country took part. The call on Wednesday, which Mr. Trump characterized as the beginning of a negotiation to end the war in Ukraine, was the first known conversation between the Russian and American leaders since Mr. Trump returned to the White House last month, has raised concerns among some European leaders that Ukraine could effectively be sidelined in any peace negotiations. There is no betrayal there, said Mr. Hegseth, speaking as he arrived for a meeting of NATO defense ministers in Brussels. There is a recognition that the whole world and the United States is invested and interested in peace and negotiated peace. He said that only Mr. Trump, who held a separate call with Mr. Zelensky after he had spoken with Mr. Putin, was capable of convening the powers who could bring peace. The call between Mr. Putin and Mr. Trump raised alarm in part because Ukrainian and European leaders have repeatedly insisted that there should be no talks on ending the war in Ukraine that do not involve Ukrainian representatives. Mark Rutte, the NATO Secretary General, reiterated that position when he arrived at the meeting in Brussels, saying it was crucial that Ukraine be closely involved in all talks on its future. Mr. Hegseth's remarks came a day after he said that the United States did not support Ukraine's desire to join NATO as part of a peace plan, and that a return to Ukraine's borders before 2014, when Russia annexed Crimea, was unrealistic. On Thursday, he repeated calls for NATO members to increase their military spending beyond 2% of gross domestic product and aim for 5%, saying that Europe needs to step forward in leadership and in providing security guarantees. But Mr. Hegseth also offered a robust defense of the NATO alliance and America's role in it. America is right alongside our allies in NATO to ensure we remain strong and that this conflict comes to an end, he said in Brussels. That message is likely to reassure NATO countries, who were rattled when Mr. Trump said during his first term that the United States might withdraw from the alliance.